Well, today we're going to talk about how to grow and care for Amazon sword, this amazing, easy beginner aquarium plant that is still fun to grow in your tank no matter what your experience level. It is touted as being able to thrive in very low light conditions, but is this really true? First, we're going to talk about some basic care for this plant, but later we're going to do a comparison. We're going to look at Amazon swords grown in two different tanks, and you can see under two separate lighting conditions, and you can see for yourself what the results are. Amazon sword is the common name that broadly refers to plants in the Echinodorus genus, which consists of many different species. It is a tropical South American bog or swamp plant that can grow out of the water or completely submerged, making it a great aquarium plant because it is so adaptable and hardy. They can grow in a wide range of water parameters and can easily be propagated by division if the clump is large enough, or by new plants growing from the flower stems, which can be left attached to the parent plant or removed and simply planted in the substrate. It doesn't require a CO2 system in order to thrive, so it's used a lot in low-tech setups and natural or biotope aquariums. Here's an example of a flower stem beginning to form from the base of one of the plants, which can easily grow out of the water, and on the very end of the stem a small plantlet is forming. Now there are actually 4 Amazon sword plants in this tank, and they all started from this one plant. This one plant grew a flower stem which had plantlets sprouting on it, and so I buried it into the sand. And so this one grew for a while, and I eventually cut the stem and let this plant grow completely independently. Then it created a stem, and I planted it way over here. So there's like 3 generations. And then that small plantlet that's not nearly as big as these others, that came from this plant as well. It was on a different flower stem. But it got tucked way in the back, and so for a while it just did not receive enough light to actually grow. An ideal substrate for Amazon sword is a deep, nutrient-rich one, like a dirt substrate capped with sand, which is what I have in this tank. You could also use an aqua soil, like fluvalstratum, which can be mixed with other substrates as well. Now, 3 to 4 inches is a good substrate depth that allows the Amazon sword extensive root system to be able to gather nutrients, but also anchor the plant in place. Amazon sword is a heavy feeding plant. It often requires fertilization in the form of aquarium root tabs that are pushed deep into the substrate for added nutrients. Now, there are plenty of root tabs available on the market to buy, and you can also make your own, which can be very cost effective if you need a lot of these. Today I'm using these root tabs made by Aquarium Co-op. It's easy to tell when the plants need fertilizing because many of the leaves will begin deteriorating, turning yellow, forming holes, showing signs of nutrient deficiency, and the overall growth of the plant will become stunted. Now, to remove these deteriorating leaves from the plant, simply push the base of the leaf petiole, which is where the leaf attaches to the crown or to the base of the plant. Push it downward toward the substrate, and it will easily snap off. This downward motion is an easy way to remove the dying leaves without risking pulling the plant out of the substrate. Amazon sword can grow quite large, 18 inches or more, tall and wide, so it's really best suited for larger tanks. This is a 75-gallon tank, and 3 moderately sized plants take up a good bit of the real estate. But it does give you that lush, beautiful appearance to your tank with only a few plants. Well, now let's talk about how much light Amazon sword actually needs. This 75-gallon tank has a full spectrum aquarium light running 6 hours daily, and it does receive ambient light from the RIPARIUM plant light fixtures overhead. And these Amazon swords are about 18 inches tall and thriving. This other tank has no aquarium light. The light on now is just for display purposes. It primarily receives ambient light from the overhead RIPARIUM plant fixtures Now this Amazon sword is about the same age as the ones in the 75-gallon tank, but it is noticeably smaller. And the biggest difference between these two tanks is the amount of light that the plants are receiving. So clearly, Amazon sword doesn't need much light in order to live, but it does need more light in order to thrive and to truly reach its potential. Well, hopefully I've helped you in deciding whether Amazon sword is the right fit for you. I don't think you would be disappointed. If you have any other questions about growing Amazon sword, please leave them down in the comments section.